Okay, this is week 40, Tuesday. So it says, find the area and perimeter of the shape below. So in order for me to do this, first I'm going to have to remember what my formulas are. Area equals length times width, and perimeter equals add all sides. Now if I look at this shape, I notice that it's not a regular shape, it's irregular, so I'm actually going to create two shapes out of this. So if I know that this side is 5, then this side is now 5. And this 8, if I have 8 minus 5, I get 3 centimeters. So I now know that up here it's 3 centimeters by 4 centimeters, and down here it's 5 centimeters by 6 centimeters. So for area, that means I have to do the formula for area for both. So I have 3, length times width, 3 times 4 is 12 centimeters. And then on here I have 6 times 5 is 30 centimeters. So what I need to do now to get my total amount for both of them is add 12 plus 30 equals 42 centimeters. Now for perimeter, I'm just going to add up all of the outside sides. So I have 4 plus 8 plus 6 plus 5. I know that this side is going to be 3 plus 3, and I need to figure out what is this. So I have 4, and then I have 6, so that's going to be 2. So now that I have all of my sides, I'm going to add them together. 4 plus 8 is 12, 6 plus 5 is 11, and 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 11 is 16. So I'm going to do 12 plus 16. And that will equal 28 centimeters. So my area equals 42 centimeters squared because I'm doing 2 dimensions, length times width, and my perimeter is 28 centimeters. Okay, number 2. Jake left the house in the morning at the time listed below. If he came back at 5:45 p.m., how long was he gone? So the first thing I know is it says at the clock below. I'm going to look at this clock and figure out what time it is. I can see it's almost 9 o'clock, so it's before 9. It's going to be 8:55 a.m. And I know that because they say morning right here. So he comes back at 5:45 p.m., which means that I'm looking for the elapsed time. How much time has gone by? And for elapsed time problems, I really like to use the number line. You don't have to use the number line. This is just one of the ways that I do it. And you start by putting the beginning time and then the end time. So I like to go do my hours first, so I can do 9:55, 10:55, 11:55, 12:55, 1:55, 2:55, 3:55, 4:55. And if I do that, that's 8 hours. Gets me to 4:55 p.m. Now I need to figure out how many minutes are between 4:55 and 5:45. So to do that, I like to go to my hour. So I need 5 minutes, and that gets me to 5 o'clock. So now I'm looking how much time is between 5 o'clock and 5:45? 45 minutes. So now I just put it together. I have 8 hours. I have 45 plus 5 and 50 minutes. Three, it says Catherine bought a bottle of apple juice that contained 456 milliliters. How many liters is 456 milliliters? So really what it says is how many liters is 456. This is the important part. This is kind of trying to throw you off which they sometimes try to do with the words. So it's going to be a conversion. And for conversions, I do King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And if I know we're doing liters, I know that milliliters is right here. So the first thing I need to do is figure out in what direction am I going to be jumping. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going 3 in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my decimal point, and since this is a whole number, I know it comes right after the ones place, and I'm going to move it 3 in that direction. 1, 2, 3. So my new answer is 0 and 456 thousandths liters. It says 4 workers made tips at work. They decided to combine their tips and each would keep a fair share of the total. What measure of data will they use to find the fair share? So whenever we're talking about fair share and everyone getting the equal amount, we're always talking about the mean. The mean means fair share. Then on the bottom it says calculate the measure below. So in order to find my mean, I know I have to add up all my points and then divide by the number of points there are. So I'm going to add up my tips. And what's important to do is you want to add them up by hand, but you're always going to have a calculator for this section of the SOL, so you can check yourself with your calculator. And if they don't match up, I would do it in the calculator again until you got the same answer at least twice. So right now I'm just adding them all together. That's my first step. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. So I have 195. Now, my second part of finding my mean is dividing by how many data points I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Four goes into 19 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Gonna bring down my 5. 4 can go into 35 8 times. 4 times 8 is 32. And then when you subtract that, you get a remainder of 3. So 48 remainder 3 is the fair share.